Chosen one, stop what you're doing right now, for what the Lord is about to reveal in this moment is not just a simple message, it is a divine appointment that heaven has circled on your timeline long before you ever knew this channel existed. Today, you are invited into a truth that will shake the very foundation of every misconception you've ever had about your own inner darkness. For far too long, the world has told you that light and darkness cannot coexist, that to step into the shadows is to be consumed by them, never to return the same. But what if I told you that this belief is not the whole story? What if I told you that your dark side is not something to be feared or rejected, but something sacred, something essential to your divine purpose? Something even the angels themselves cannot comprehend, something that, when used rightly, protects your light in a way nothing else can. Just 72 hours ago, in the unseen realms where angels tread and the eternal laws of the spiritual world are written into the fabric of creation, something extraordinary happened. In that very moment, heaven watched, and even the angels fell silent, not in awe, but in fear. For eons, it had been understood that no being could step fully into darkness and return unchanged. The law was clear: whoever touched the shadows became the shadows, forever lost to the light. Even the most radiant of beings, like Lucifer, had fallen victim to this law. His pride became his undoing, turning his brilliance to unspeakable darkness in an instant. Yet, heaven watched in stunned silence as you, a human, someone forged from both flesh and spirit, did what no angel had ever done. You did not fall into darkness. No, you entered it with intention, with divine purpose, wielding it not to be consumed, but to protect your divine light and return to it unscathed, whole, and unbroken. The heavens were in awe, not because they saw the defeat of darkness, but because they saw you, chosen one, not only survive the impossible but come back more radiant than before. This was no ordinary battle. This was no ordinary moment in the spiritual realm. This was the proof that you, a vessel of both light and shadow, were not a mistake, nor were you an anomaly. You are the embodiment of a new spiritual law, one that the angels are still trying to understand, one that redefines the very fabric of creation. You, chosen one, have become the proof that God is unveiling a higher law, a law that angels themselves are still learning to comprehend. You were born into a world where darkness and light are not separate, where you can walk through both realms, not as a victim of either, but as a master of them both. And that mastery is not in perfection, but in divine integration, the ability to move through the darkness without losing your light, to wield your fire when necessary and to heal with grace when called upon. This mastery is what makes you more than just a survivor of this world. It makes you a warrior of divine purpose. And now, heaven watches, not in fear of what you might do, but in awe of who you are becoming. For you are the proof that something new is unfolding in the spiritual realm, something that the heavens, and even the angels themselves, could never have imagined. And you, chosen one, were born for such a time as this. So, as you listen to this message, I invite you to open your heart and spirit, not just in agreement, but in bold proclamation: I am ready to embrace the fullness of who I am. Type Amen in the comments, not just as a word, but as a declaration of readiness. Because today, this moment is not just about hearing a message, it is about stepping into your divine calling with clarity, courage, and wisdom. Heaven has been waiting for you to step forward, and now, it's time. Chosen one, I want to take you on a journey back to the spiritual laws that have been etched into the very fabric of the universe, laws that govern not just the seen, but the unseen, the very realm where angels tread. For eons, one particular law stood above all others, a law that struck fear into the hearts of the celestial beings who watch over the realms. This law, a decree spoken into eternity, declared with unshakable certainty: whoever touches darkness becomes darkness. Whoever crosses that boundary, who dares to step into the shadows, would never return the same. It was a law that governed not only the heavens but the very soul of every being that had ever existed, angels and humans alike. Even before you were born, the angels had witnessed the devastating effects of this law. They had watched the fall of Lucifer, the most radiant of all beings, who, with a single thought of pride, became the very embodiment of darkness. His fall was instantaneous, a transformation that shocked even the heavens themselves. Once, Lucifer had been the morning star, his light so bright that it dazzled even the most ancient celestial beings. But in the blink of an eye, that light turned to darkness, and his once glorious radiance became an unrecognizable void. And those who followed him, they too were lost, transformed beyond redemption, erased from existence as if they had never been. The heavens watched in silence as this cosmic event unfolded, for it confirmed the law: once darkness touched a being, it consumed them entirely. There was no coming back. No redemption. No second chances. But there was one thing that the angels could never have anticipated, one thing that defied everything they knew about light and darkness. It was you. Yes, you, chosen one. You, a human, a vessel of both flesh and spirit, have done what no angel has ever been able to do. You stepped fully into the depths of your own darkness, not to be consumed by it, but to wield it. You stepped into the shadows not with fear, not with hesitation, but with purpose, with intention. And in doing so, you did something that has never been done before. You used your darkness as a tool, not for destruction, but for protection. You didn't lose yourself in it. You didn't become it. No, you took the very force that was once thought to be the cause of corruption and used it to defend the divine light within you. This wasn't just a spiritual battle, it was a revelation. You, chosen one, have broken the very laws that the angels had long adhered to. The law said that no being could touch darkness and remain unchanged, but you have proven that the law was incomplete. You have shown the heavens that light and darkness are not necessarily at odds, not necessarily destined to remain separate. The angels, who were made from pure light, could never understand this. They were designed to exist in the light, to never be exposed to the shadows, to never know the depth of pain and suffering that you have known. For they have never faced what you have faced: betrayal, rejection, heartache. They have never walked through the fire of this world, forged by the very darkness that threatened to consume them. They cannot understand the power that you now carry, the power to move between realms that should destroy each other and come back whole. But you, chosen one, have been trained in a way that no angel ever was. You were born into the tension, into the contradiction of this world, where joy and pain walk hand in hand, where light and dark are not opposites, but two sides of the same divine coin. You have learned how to wield both sides of yourself, how to integrate both light and dark into one cohesive force of divine power. The angels, in all their wisdom and purity, were not designed to face the darkness and come out unscathed. When they were created, they were made to be untouched by the corrupting forces of the world. Their purity was their strength, but it was also their limitation. They have never had to confront the very thing that you, chosen one, have faced. They have never known the depths of human suffering, nor have they ever had to fight with the darkness within themselves. They live in perfection, untouched by the grime of the world. And so, when they saw you, a human, not only step into the shadows but come back from them unscathed, they were left stunned, confused. They watched as you did what they could never do. You wielded darkness with the precision of a master, using it only when necessary, and never allowing it to consume you. And when the battle was won, when the darkness had been overcome, you returned to your light, unbroken, unscarred, whole. The angels had never seen anything like it. But here is the miracle: you did not become corrupted by your darkness. You did not lose yourself in it, as so many others have. Instead, you used it to defend what was sacred to you, to protect your light, your peace, and your purpose. You stood firm, not in rage, but in strength. You set boundaries, not out of hatred, but out of love for yourself and for what you were called to do. And when the threat was gone, when the battle was over, you did not harden. You did not hold on to bitterness or anger. You returned to your light, to your compassion, to your grace, without hesitation. And that, chosen one, is the power that terrifies the enemy. It is the power that the angels are still trying to comprehend. The law said it was impossible. The angels believed that no being could move between light and darkness and come out unchanged. But you, chosen one, have shown them that the law was never complete. You are the proof that the boundaries between light and darkness are not as fixed as they once thought. And that is why, even now, heaven is watching you in awe, not just because you survived, but because you thrived. You did not fall into the shadows, but you embraced them, and in doing so, you mastered them. You became a living testament to the fact that the light and the darkness can coexist, can work together, and can ultimately bring about a higher purpose. This is the new law that is unfolding before us, a law that is not based in fear or division, but in wholeness and balance. And you, chosen one, are the embodiment of that new law. And so, chosen one, as the heavens continued to watch what they had never been trained to understand, a deeper truth began to unfold. What the angels first perceived as a disruption of cosmic order revealed itself instead as mastery. Not chaos, not rebellion, not confusion, but mastery. For what you carry is not a split nature, not a fractured soul torn between opposites, but an integrated strength that knows exactly when to rise as fire and when to soften as balm. This is where the misunderstanding begins for many, because the world has taught that to acknowledge one's darkness is to surrender to it, that strength must always look gentle, and that holiness must always be quiet. But your life has already testified otherwise. You have learned, through lived experience rather than doctrine, that light without discernment becomes vulnerable, and compassion without boundaries becomes an invitation for harm. And yet, strength without mercy hardens into something unrecognizable. What you have learned, often painfully, is how to hold both without being owned by either. This mastery did not arrive as a gift wrapped neatly in revelation. It was forged in moments where you were tested beyond what words could explain. There were times when your light showed up first, as it always does. You listened longer than you should have. You gave grace when logic advised caution. You extended understanding to those who offered confusion in return. Your heart leaned toward healing, because that is its nature. But then came the quiet signal, the subtle disturbance in your spirit that could not be explained by reason alone. A shift in tone. A contradiction in words. A heaviness where peace once lived. This is the moment many ignore, because acknowledging it requires courage. But you did not ignore it. Something within you stood up, not with rage, not with cruelty, but with clarity. This was not sin awakening. This was discernment. This was the protector rising, the part of you created not to destroy, but to defend what is holy. This is what separates mastery from impulsiveness. Many people have anger. Many people have shadows. But most either suppress them until they explode or unleash them until they are trapped within them. You did neither. You learned how to speak firmly without becoming cruel, how to draw a line without turning your heart to stone. When manipulation appeared disguised as vulnerability, you did not mock it, nor did you indulge it. You simply named what was happening and stepped back. And in that moment, something ancient and sacred unfolded. The performance collapsed. The mask fell away. The power dynamic shifted. Not because you raised your voice, but because you stood in alignment with truth. This is the kind of authority that does not shout. It resonates. What left the angels astonished was not that you confronted darkness, but how you exited it. You did not linger in it. You did not rehearse the confrontation for days, replaying conversations, sharpening resentment. You did not build a fortress of suspicion around your heart. The moment the boundary was drawn and the threat neutralized, you returned to yourself. Compassion flowed again, but this time without naivety. Kindness remained, but it was no longer exposed. Peace returned swiftly, like a river finding its course again. This is what the angels could not understand, because in their world, exposure is permanent. When they fall forever. When they cross a line, there is no return. But you cross thresholds and come back whole. You step into fire and exit without carrying the smoke. This is not recklessness. This is restraint perfected. Your mastery lies not in how fiercely you fight, but in how briefly you need to. Darkness is not your dwelling place. It is a tool, and you use it with precision. You do not confuse intensity with identity. You do not confuse defense with domination. You have learned, often through sorrow, that staying in survival mode too long will steal your tenderness, and tenderness is one of your greatest strengths. So you move fluidly. You respond instead of reacting. You discern instead of assuming. You know when love requires softness and when love requires a closed door. And perhaps most remarkably, you know how to return to light without guilt. You do not punish yourself for being strong. You do not apologize for protecting your peace. This is where healing and authority meet. The angels, beings of pure light, were never designed to develop this kind of discernment. Their world is one of clarity, not contradiction. They do not navigate betrayal wrapped in affection. They do not face danger disguised as need. They do not grow up in broken systems or dysfunctional homes or relationships that demand both empathy and self-preservation. Their purity is vast, but it is untested by resistance. And so when corruption touches them, it overwhelms them completely. You, however, were raised in resistance. You learned early that love could hurt, that trust could be weaponized, that goodness alone was not always enough. And instead of letting that knowledge harden you, you allowed it to refine you. Your wounds became wisdom. Your scars became spiritual immunity. This is why your darkness does not control you. You control it. It rises when needed and rests when its work is done. You do not swing it wildly like a hammer. You wield it like a scalpel. Carefully. Deliberately. Only where necessary. And when the incision is made, you do not keep cutting. You close the wound. You heal. You move forward. This balance is not accidental. It is evidence of maturity. It is the image of the lion and the lamb living in the same breath, not in conflict, but in cooperation. Strength that knows when to bow. Mercy that knows when to stand firm. And this mastery terrifies the enemy, because it leaves no opening. Manipulation fails when kindness is paired with discernment. Exploitation collapses when generosity walks alongside boundaries. You cannot be easily provoked, nor easily deceived. You are not predictable in the way broken patterns expect you to be. When someone comes to you in sincerity, your light meets them fully. When someone comes with deceit, your fire meets them swiftly. And neither encounter diminishes you. This is why the heavens took notice. Not because you are flawless, but because you are whole. Chosen one, there is a profound mystery unfolding in you, one that defies everything we thought we understood about spiritual growth, about evolution, and about the very essence of what it means to walk with God in this world. For too long, we've believed that to be truly spiritual, to be truly whole, we must exist in a realm of pure light, untouched by darkness, free from the wounds that make us human. We were taught that to be holy meant to be soft, always forgiving, always gentle, never confronting the shadows within us or in the world around us. But you, chosen one, you have shown the world a different way. You've embraced a truth that many have rejected, a truth that even the angels are still learning to understand. True spiritual evolution does not come from denying the darkness, it comes from integrating it. And in this process of integration, you have become something more, something that transcends the old boundaries that were once thought unbreakable. The angels, beings of pure light, have lived in a world where there is no real darkness, no need to confront the shadows, no trials that could fracture their sense of being. They were designed to live in the light, to protect it, to uphold the beauty and harmony of creation. They never knew the depths of suffering that you have faced, the betrayals, the heartbreaks, the moments when your very soul was tested to its limits. They never walked through fire, never had to choose between mercy and justice, never had to discern the right time to speak with fire and the right time to heal with grace. But you, chosen one, you were born into this tension, into this contradiction. You were born into a world where light and darkness exist side by side, where you have to learn how to wield both with wisdom and discernment. You were forged in the fire, shaped by pain, tempered by trials, and in the process, you became something entirely new, a being who can carry both the light and the darkness without losing either. This integration, this divine evolution, is not a flaw, as the angels might believe. It is the divine purpose you were created for. You were made to walk between the realms, to move with precision and purpose in both the light and the dark. The world may see this as a contradiction, but heaven sees it as a miracle, a sign that something new is unfolding in the spiritual realm. You have become a living testament to the fact that we do not have to choose between light and darkness, but rather, we can learn to master both. You have become the embodiment of divine wisdom, the wisdom to know when to show mercy and when to draw a line, when to forgive and when to stand firm. And this wisdom is not something that can be learned in a sermon or a book, it is something that is forged in the crucible of experience, in the trials and tribulations of life, in the moments when you were broken and yet chose to rise again. The world has long believed that to be spiritually mature means to remain untouched by the darkness, to remain perfect in our light. But you, chosen one, have shown us that true spiritual maturity is not about perfection, it is about integration. It is about learning to walk through the darkness without being consumed by it, to use the shadows to protect what is sacred, and to return to the light without hesitation. This is the divine wisdom that you carry, the wisdom to know when to fight and when to heal, when to stand firm and when to let go. This wisdom does not come from a place of fear or shame, but from a place of divine love, a love that knows no boundaries, a love that can withstand the deepest wounds and still return to peace. This is the wisdom that the angels do not understand, the wisdom that terrifies the enemy and astounds heaven. You are not the same as the angels, and this is not a mistake. It is a divine design. You were not made to be like them, untouched by the world, untested by the fires of life. You were made to be a warrior, a healer, a protector, and a guide. You were made to walk through the fire and come out unscathed, to face the shadows and emerge stronger, to carry the weight of both light and darkness with grace and wisdom. And this divine wisdom, this integration of opposites, is what makes you so rare, so necessary in a world that is broken and divided. You have learned to navigate the complexities of life with the steady hand of one who knows that neither light nor darkness can define you. They are tools, not masters. This divine evolution has not been easy. It has come with pain, with loss, with moments of deep confusion and heartache. But it has also come with strength, with clarity, with a peace that surpasses all understanding. Every wound you have carried, every scar you bear, has become a mark of spiritual immunity, a reminder that you have been through the fire and come out purified, refined, and stronger than ever. These scars are not signs of weakness, they are the evidence of your resilience, your ability to navigate both the light and the dark without losing yourself. And this resilience is what makes you a master, a true master of your own soul, of your own destiny. The world may not understand this. The world may try to label you as broken, as incomplete, as a contradiction. But you, chosen one, know the truth. You are whole, not because you are perfect, but because you have learned to embrace all parts of yourself, the light and the dark, the mercy and the justice, the love and the strength. You are not divided. You are not fragmented. You are integrated, complete, and divine. And this integration is not just for you, it is for the world. Because the world needs people like you, people who can walk in both realms and bring balance to the chaos, people who can wield both mercy and might with wisdom and grace. And so, chosen one, as you continue on this journey, remember that this divine wisdom is not just something to be admired, it is something to be lived. It is something that will guide you in every decision, in every relationship, in every moment of your life. When you are faced with darkness, do not fear it. Use it. When you are faced with light, do not cling to it. Let it guide you. You are the embodiment of divine balance, the perfect integration of light and darkness, and this balance is your strength, your power, and your purpose. The angels may not understand it, but you do. And that is enough. So as you move forward in your journey, carry this wisdom with you. Carry it with humility, with grace, with strength. Know that you are not just surviving, you are evolving, you are growing, and you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. The world is waiting for you to step fully into your power, to embrace your divine wisdom, and to show the world what it truly means to live in balance. You are the new evolution. You are the chosen one. Chosen one, as we reach the end of this divine revelation, I want to leave you with a truth that will stay with you long after this moment passes. What you have experienced, the darkness you have embraced, the light you have protected, was not a mistake, nor is it a curse. It is the foundation of your divine evolution, your spiritual mastery. You are not just someone who survived the battles between light and darkness, you are someone who has mastered them. You have learned to move between realms that were never meant to coexist, to stand firm in the face of manipulation and deceit, and still return to compassion without a trace of bitterness. This is not weakness. This is power. This is the strength of someone who knows who they are, someone who understands that neither light nor darkness can define them. They are not forces to be fought, but elements to be wielded with wisdom, grace, and purpose. What you have done, what you continue to do, is unprecedented. The angels, with all their purity and strength, can never understand the depth of what you carry. They were made of light, their power a reflection of their perfection, but that perfection came at a cost. They were never meant to face the darkness within themselves or in the world around them. And yet, you, chosen one, have not only faced it, you have integrated it. You have taken the very thing that was feared, that was believed to be a source of corruption, and turned it into a shield to protect your light. This is why heaven watches you with awe. This is why the enemy fears you. Because you are living proof that spiritual evolution does not end with perfection, it begins with integration. You are the first of your kind, a new creation, a being who has transcended the binary laws of light and darkness, and in doing so, has found a power that was hidden even from the highest realms. And now, as you walk forward in your journey, know that this integration, this balance between light and darkness, is not just a part of who you are, it is the foundation of what you are meant to offer to the world. You were not born to stay in one place, to be confined by the rules that others have set. No, you were born to break them, to redefine what it means to walk with God in a world that is both beautiful and broken. The world needs your light, but it also needs your strength. It needs your wisdom, your discernment, and your ability to navigate the complexities of this life with grace and precision. When others are lost in their own darkness, you will be the one to lead them out, not by ignoring the shadows, but by walking through them with confidence, knowing that your light will never be extinguished. So, as you step into this next chapter of your life, remember the truth you have learned here: you are not just a survivor. You are a warrior of divine purpose, a healer of hearts, and a protector of what is sacred. Your darkness does not define you, it strengthens you. Your light does not make you perfect, it makes you whole. And together, they make you unstoppable. You are the chosen one. You are the one the world has been waiting for. And the time has come for you to rise, to walk boldly in your divine authority, and to let the world see the power of your integrated presence. I invite you now, chosen one, to reflect on this truth. Let it sink deep into your spirit, not as a concept to understand, but as a reality to live. As you move forward, remember, you are not defined by what you have faced or by the darkness you have known. You are defined by how you have risen, by how you have mastered both light and darkness with wisdom and grace. You are whole. You are divine. And you are here for a purpose greater than you have yet fully realized. So go forward, chosen one. Walk in the fullness of who you are. Embrace both sides of yourself, for they are both sacred. Let your wisdom guide you, let your strength protect you, and let your love heal the world around you. You are not just walking through this life, you are leading it. And heaven is smiling, because it knows the truth: you were born for this. You were born for this moment, for this time, for this divine purpose. The world has never seen anything like you before. And now, chosen one, it is time for you to shine. Blessings to you, chosen one. Walk boldly in the power that is yours, and never forget that you are not alone. Heaven is with you, every step of the way.